Started. So hi everybody and welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited you're here. So we're gonna be focusing on two ingredients, main ingredients in these delicious cookies. And so here's one of our ingredients, kind of seed we're gonna talk about in a minute. And then here's the one of the other main ingredients. So you know what that is probably. So before we get started, let's just do a quick review because we're going to be making cookies today and we're going to be using our hands because these are no-bake cookies. So what we need to do is make sure our hair is pulled back if we have long hair. So because think about when you found a hair in your food, nobody likes to find a hair in their food, right? And then we need to make sure we've all washed our hands, which is super important nowadays, right? I mean, it's important all the time, but now with this crazy virus going around, it's really important to make sure we've got clean hands. So clean hands are our best tools in the kitchen. So if you haven't washed your hands, make sure you go wash and do 20 seconds. So that's happy birthday twice in your head. And you make sure you scrub, get under your nails and everything. I know my cooking class kids know all about that. All right, so we're not going to be using a knife in this class, so we don't need to review the knife safety and the peeler safety, but we do want to make sure, as usual, we keep our workspace clean. And we're going to be using real silverware, so I'm not going to use plasticware. I'm going to use real silverware because it's so much better for the environment. So this won't break down and end up in a landfill. I'll be able to wash this and reuse it. So in our cooking classes, we don't use any single-use plastics. And a few announcements. So I don't know if you guys know, some of you may not, but we have some celebrity chef classes coming up. So we have a chef that it has done work with NASCAR and with Garth Brooks. And I'm trying to think of what else she's done. She did the Players Championship. The Jaguars, and her name is Chef Jazz Moore. And then she is going to be teaching a class on how to make a barbecue pizza this Saturday at 2:00. And then Chef Gabby is going to be doing a class in a few weeks on her favorite afternoon snack, which is going to be a strawberry smoothie. We have, another class coming up. Chef Amanda Johns of New You Raw, she is going to be making a delicious basil pesto that you can use for dipping stuff. And then we have Chef Riley, who is the sous chef at Sawgrass Marriott in Ponte Vedra. He is going to be teaching a class where he's going to show you how to make gnocchi for dinner, and that's on the 30th. So all that is on our website on the register page. So if you guys are interested in that, it'd be really cool for you to be able to cook along with real chefs and be able to ask them questions. So they'll have the ingredients on there so you can cook right along with them. So that'll be really cool. So make sure that if you guys are liking these classes that you're sharing about them, telling your friends, sharing about them on Facebook. And I hope you sign up for a lot more classes because these have been really fun. I hope you guys are enjoying these as much as I am. We're going to talk, before we get started, a little bit about fiber. So fiber, we all hear about. It's really important in our diet. It's a kind of carbohydrate our body can't digest. And the way I try to teach kids about this, and I tell my kids this story in the daytime cooking classes at Hickory, it's kind of like if you think about the fanciest car you can think of. A lot of times kids say Lamborghini. So imagine you're at the gas station and this guy in a Lamborghini pulls up. And it's super shiny and it's beautiful and it's red. And he goes to open the door, and in the inside of his car is trash and there's just food everywhere. And he must have spilled sodas, so it's all sticky and the inside just doesn't match the outside. So then another lady with the exact same car pulls up right behind the first guy. So she opens her car and the inside is spotless. There isn't a crumb. There isn't a smudge. It is completely clean. So the second lady, she's imagine her car is like her body, and she's been eating a ton of fiber. So the inside of her body is all nice and clean. The first guy, he has been eating foods that don't really have any fiber. So even though he looks super shiny on the outside and clean on the outside and perfect, oh, we got somebody waiting. On the inside, his insides are all a mess. It's sticky in there, and there's trash and all kinds of yucky stuff that needs to be cleaned out. So if he just started eating fiber, just like the first lady, his insides would be all clean, just like the lady that pulled up in her shiny red Lamborghini. So we're going to talk about how much fiber we need per day. Kids age 4 to 8 need 25 grams, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Boys age 9 to 13 need 31 grams a day, and girls age 9 to 13 need 26 grams a day. So this is what that might look like. Let's say you have breakfast, and you might have a cup of oatmeal and half a cup of blueberries. So that's a bunch of fiber right there. Then for a snack, she is eating an apple, and that's 2 grams of fiber. At lunch, maybe with whatever they're having at lunch, a cup of steamed broccoli. And let's say a snack, if you've ever had avocado toast is delicious. And that, if you put it on a piece of whole grain bread, that's 2 grams of fiber, and then half an avocado is 6 grams of fiber. And then for dinner, what about trying black bean burgers with steamed broccoli? So half a cup of black beans at dinner is a great source of protein and also has a ton of fiber. So 7 grams of fiber. So that could be how much fiber you might need in one day. So think about, are the things that you're eating for snacks, could you add some additional things that could have a little bit more fiber? So keep in mind that plant foods are the only way you can get fiber. So here's some more tips. Eat at least 5 servings of fruits and veggies every day. Add chia or flaxseed to your smoothies. You might want to mix white and brown rice. So if you can slowly start switching to brown rice, that'll have a little bit more fiber. Add lots of beans, nuts, and seeds. Sorry if there's a little noise in the background. Read your nutrition labels and check your cereal. Make sure it has at least 5 grams of fiber. So read the ingredients in your cereal, read the nutrition label. Check your ingredients for 100% whole wheat or whole grain. Leave peels on. So if you are eating an apple, that's a good thing to get, where if you're going to eat the peel, or something like strawberries, those things you might want to get organic, because you want to eat the peel of those things because they're going to have more fiber. And also potatoes, that's another great one, to leave the skin on the potato and then you get extra fiber in there. So let's get started making our delicious oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. And these are going to be superhero oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. I hope everybody is ready to go. I'm just going to put my planner to the side here. And I think we're recording right now, so I think we should be good. We're going to add 2 cups of oatmeal. So that's how we're going to start with our 2 cups of oatmeal. We're going to have our clean hands, remember. So everybody get your measuring cup, and you want to look to make sure it says 1 cup, right? Okay, 1 cup, and we're adding 1, okay, 2 cups of oatmeal. So that's going to be the base. Now what we're going to do is add a cup of shredded unsweet coconut. If all you have is sweet coconut, that's totally fine too. Oh my goodness. That came spilling out. Well, the good thing about this is we don't have to bake it, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I love coconut. You can try without it. You may, if you don't use coconut and you don't like it, you may want to add more of the oatmeal. So, but I love coconut. I'm a big fan. It's also got, let's look at the 5 grams of fiber in 1/4 of a cup. So this is a great source of fiber, 2 grams of protein, and it's a good source of some healthy fat. So I got this at Trader Joe's. It's just organic shredded coconut. Next thing we need is half a cup of chia seeds. So this is what I showed you in the very beginning. You can see the chia seed here. And this is gonna go pretty fast. Chia seed is so healthy for you. I love a brand called Mila, but you can use any kind you like. The Mila is pre-ground. And I actually mixed it with another blend because I had run out a little bit. So I have a few whole and a few ground in here, but if you have whole, that's totally fine. So I'm adding those in. The chia seeds are gonna be what's gonna keep it all together. So that was half a cup of chia seed. Do we have a question out there? Does anybody have a question? Okay, I think we're doing good. And yes, I see somebody mixing, so you can mix that together a little bit. So we're trying to get a lot of our dry ingredients, and then we'll add some of our wet ingredients. So the next thing we're gonna need to add is a little bit of salt. And I'm gonna add our chocolate chips last. So we're gonna add the wet ingredients, and then we're gonna stir in the chocolate chips. So I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, just a pinch here. We can always add more later once we taste it. I don't like to add too much because you can't take it out. You can always taste it before you roll them and then add more if you want a little more salt. But why might we be adding salt into a dessert recipe? Because the salt just balances out the flavor and it makes it a little salty and sweet, and it really brings out the other flavors in the recipe. Now let's start by adding a cup of, it could be tahini, it could be, I'm gonna use some sunflower seed butter. I also, if I run out, have some almond butter, and you could use peanut butter if that's all you have, but we're gonna add a cup, and this is gonna also help it stick together. This is also a great source of protein, and it has 2 grams of fiber in 2 tablespoons. So in each tablespoon, there's a gram of fiber. So another great source of, once we add all this together, this has fiber too. And that is why I like to add plant sources of protein to stuff. So I add beans, nuts, seeds to things, because these types of plant foods that have protein also have all the vitamins and nutrients, and then they have the fiber along with them. Because I know it can be tough to get stuff at the grocery store right now, I've got a little, I'm gonna add some almond butter too. We're gonna rinse that guy out and recycle him. Trying to get to a cup. So you can use, like I said, for anyone just joining us, you can use any type of nut butter you want. So tahini, almond butter, cashew butter. I've also seen a chocolate hazelnut butter. I think it's Justin's brand. That looks delicious, but my daughter Gabby's allergic to hazelnuts and peanuts, so she can't have those. So I am adding the nut butter in. Justin's. Has a lot of different flavors, like Justin. So Gabby is saying that Justin's nut butter has all kinds of good flavors. So a maple flavor, all kinds of good stuff. The next thing I'm going to add is 2/3 cup of maple syrup. You can add any liquid sweetener you want. So if you have agave, you could add local honey and support a local beekeeper. All right, I only have 1/3 cup here. So guess how many of these I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do 2 of these because I don't have an actual 2/3 cup in this measuring set. So I'm adding 2/3 cup of liquid sweetener. And now that our wetter ingredients are going in, the chia seed is gonna all start sticking together with it and binding our cookies together. This is one of my most favorite cookie recipes ever. And who would know that they are so good for you at the same time? Don't tell anybody, they won't know. These are also great right out of the freezer. So if you have leftovers, they're really filling. So these could also be considered an energy bite too. So these are going to be great for breakfast. These are going to be great as a snack, as a dessert. They're wonderful. If you go to a potluck, people eat these things up like crazy. They just absolutely love them. We're going to add some vanilla as well, up to about 3 teaspoons, which would equal 1 tablespoon. I am going to use my little measuring, and I'm going to add probably 2 because I don't think I have a ton of vanilla left. So that's the main reason. Thank you. Will you move that? Yes, thank you. Trying to keep our workspace clean. I always, when I'm making dinner at night, I always clean up as I go. So that way, once I'm ready for dinner, there's very few dishes left to clean up. So I have a little left in there, but I'm going to start with 2. You can always add, again, you can add more later if you want. No, I think we're good with this. We're going to see how it is. And mix again. Then we're going to be adding in our chocolate chips as well. And this will start getting really nice and bound together. And once you'll refrigerate these afterwards, and then they'll really be stuck together nicely. So I'm going to add my chocolate chips. I am using this Enjoy Life brand because that's what I've got on hand. And these are semi-sweet. I'm going to add a cup of these. I like to use a bigger bowl too. Notice how the bowl I'm using is a little bit bigger. I used to always end up using a really small bowl in the past, and then I would have ingredients falling out of my bowl and be really annoyed that all my ingredients were falling out. So I'm adding my chocolate chips in here. Get in there. All right, that's about a cup. So we've got a goodly amount of chocolate chips in here. That's what makes this super tasty. You can add additional nuts in here. If you have toasted nuts, would be really tasty too. We're mixing this all around. So you want to get the chocolate chips well incorporated. So that means mix it all together really, really well. Then when we're done doing this, we can start measuring these out in probably 1 to 2 tablespoon size cookies. So our hands are going to get a little messy, but that's okay. And so I'll start doing this. And while you guys are continuing to roll these out, maybe Chef Gabby can help me roll some of these out. I will read about the benefits of chia seeds because they are so good for you. That is looking pretty good. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to use my tablespoon and start. I've got a baking sheet with some parchment lined on here. Does anybody have any questions so far? How's everybody looking? Everybody looks like they're doing well. Okay. And these don't have to be perfect, right? Because we're not baking these. So we can put these right here. And I like to use the measuring spoon, the round measuring spoon, so then they kind of look a little prettier. I kind of press it down a little bit. And I don't know if you guys, can you guys see this? So that's about the size. Don't those look pretty? Can you see them? Yeah. These are, oh, and you know what we need to do, which we forgot to do? We need to take a little taste first and see if we need to add a little more salt, add a little more vanilla. So I just put a little, so good. I just tasted a little. I think that's perfect. I don't need to add any more, but if you want to add some more salt, you can do that. I'm going to be scooping these out. This is probably the part that takes the longest for this recipe. And Then once you refrigerate them, they will keep for quite a while. And like I said, you can freeze these. They'll keep for a really, really long time. I'm going to start reading. You guys keep going with this. And I am going to start reading you guys the benefits of chia, because I think it's so important to talk about the benefits of chia and the benefits of oatmeal. Oatmeal, as I'm finishing up these last few, is a prebiotic. And what a prebiotic is a food that feeds, if you've heard of your mom taking probiotics, so that's really good for digestion and for your gut health, your belly health. The prebiotic foods like bananas and oats and avocados feed the good and healthy bacteria that's in our bellies. They help with digestion and help keep us healthy. So we really need to feed those good bacteria that are in our body. So I'm going to set this just aside right here, and I'm going to come back to that. You guys keep working. I'm just going to grab my towel. Oh, here it is. Wipe my hands off a little bit. So chia is filled with lots of vitamins, nutrients, minerals, and more. So calcium for strong bones. We all want to have strong bones, right? Omega-3 fats for healthy brain function. Protein for strong muscles. You can plant chia seed. I don't know how well it grows in Florida. I haven't had luck with it. It grows, you would plant it in June to July, harvest September, October. The best way to eat chia is really milled or open chia, if you can. It can be mixed into soup, tossed on salad, added to smoothies, or used instead of eggs to bind cookies or other baked goods. And again, if you use chia seed to bind your baked goods instead of an egg, there's no cholesterol, and you get the fiber of chia and then all these other added benefits as well. Plus, it has the healthy omega-3 fats for brain function. It can be eaten raw or cooked. So I add it into baked goods all the time. I love it. Chia seed is in the mint family. So just remember that. If you have a mint allergy, keep that in mind. It means strength in the Mayan language. Chia seeds were known as runner's food because runners and warriors would use them as fuel while running long distances or during a battle. Oats, so we talked about oatmeal a little bit, are a prebiotic. They have manganese for strong bones. Vitamin B1 helps save your memory and keeps your brain ready for the day. So really good if you're doing your school from home. I know everyone's doing that virtual school. Fiber for an ideal weight. You would plant oats in this area September through November, harvest when it's 8 to 12 inches high. How to cook it? There are so many ways to cook oats. This is a great way where we're not actually cooking them. Another way to eat them where you haven't cooked them is overnight oats. So you would soak oatmeal in almond milk or some other, whatever your favorite milk is. You have a question?
Huh?
You have a question?
Eating.
Okay, I can't tell if somebody's asking a question or no. We're gonna just mute you really quick. You can also put oats in the slow cooker, and that's another great option. So if you have steel cut oats, you just add lots of liquid, dried fruit, and nuts, and then just cook it until it's soft. So a fun fact, a quarter cup of oats has 13% of your daily protein. Fiber in oats helps your body protect itself against breast cancer. Oats are originally from Asia and were used as medicine before food. So that is about it, you guys. I hope you enjoy these delicious cookies. We're going to keep going on these. Does anyone have any questions before we wrap this up? It looks like I see hi, I see good. It looks like everyone's doing well. I can't wait for you guys to try these. And I hope you take advantage of some of those chef classes, because just imagine if you could be in the kitchen with a real chef working and watching as they're making recipes for people as they come out at the restaurant. That would be really cool to be able to learn directly from some of the chefs that work in our local area. Oh, and also Chef Gabby says she recommends refrigerating these before eating them. So they're really good. You want to refrigerate them until they're just cool. And then, like we said, store in the refrigerator or freezer. So I'm going to send this video out after this and send out the final recipe, but I'm glad you were all here working with me. If you want to check out the chef classes, there's one coming up Saturday. And then Chef Gabby's going to be doing the next free class on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Do you have a question? All right, Chef Gabby's going to unmute you guys and just let me know if you have any questions. Did you guys have fun? What'd you guys think? Did you like it?
Yeah.
Good. Everyone's looking good out there.
Thank you, Miss Dawn.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for coming. It was so good to see everybody.
Thank you, Miss Dawn.
You're welcome. Hi, Miss
Thank
Gabby.
you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.